And I
Chris,
really don't want to do that.
you said something. You and Leo did a show maybe like a month and a half ago. You're like, this is a big off season. You caught yourself. You were like, we said this the last 3 years is a big off season. Like, at what
Every
point?
year, big off season.
it just goes to the point. Like, at what point is he going to make some type of move? The CJ will come fine, but if you go look at the David Griffin era, has he made a big splash since the CJ thing? Like, can you name one big move?
He's had a couple. Well, I'm going.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Who?
No. Go ahead.
He's had.
You can't count Anthony Davis. The Anthony Davis thing
no.
does not count.
No, what I mean by big moves is he's brought in some name brand players. Like at the time, Steven Adams was a name. Like, you know, I mean, like far as guys who have a name. He had a, you know, him, that's a guy with a name. CJ McCollum had a name, but all of these guys were over the hill or at
exactly.
like they were available for a reason, is like what I mean. And he never really like took the risk on a player that was like a budding talent or a player who may have had some personality issues, because all this good human being shit, like I said last show, you're taking yourself too serious. No one cares about that. No one cares about that. Like at the end, no one cares. What's his name? Boston traded for Porzingis. Huge risk
on a lot of different levels,
and they almost. It kind of fucked them in the end because Porzingis got hurt in the finals, and that was the risk. But you were able to do enough because you took other risks. Drew Holiday, held on Derek White. You were able to do other things that supplemented and gave you cushion for that risk.
So then, why take a risk? So why, if you're David Griffin, why take a risk if you have job security? I mean, no one gets fired in the organizations anyway. So I mean, what's the point?
Do you want to win? Do you want to win? Because
would you rather
if you got ego? If you got ego, look.
I mean, if I get to pocket $6.5 million a year to be mediocre,
okay, but that's the same guy that doesn't want to lose in a trade, right? So you talking about a situation where when you don't take risk, you end up letting Lonzo Ball walk for Satoransky, Garrett Temple in a second round.
Didn't want to take a risk on Lauri Markkanen. Didn't want to take the risk,
right? When you could have traded him at the deadline for Lauri or a bunch of other different players. You end up letting Jonas walk. You end up letting Jackson Hayes eventually walks when you could have traded him at his highest trade value. No matter who knows what that would have looked like, but you had a chance to capitalize on that right then and there. We could be talking. I hope it doesn't happen because I'm a fan of Herb Jones. But 2 years from now, we could be saying, damn, you could have moved that. You could have ended up making a trade then. You could have traded Brandon Ingram. In the previous offseason or wherever, when we were talking about Charlotte, and now nobody wants him.
Exactly. So you're literally telling me he's not good at his job. Like literally, you just went through 5 or 6 different examples of just being late to the party. And
I'm
now
not
Brandon
saying
Ingram's...
he's not. I'm not saying he's not good at his job. What I am saying is that he's stubborn. I'm saying he's very stubborn in a situation, in a spot, in a market, in a situation where you can't afford to be.
Do you think he's done a good job, Chris, in his 5 years?
Average to below average.
Okay.
Average to below average. I don't think you can say that it's good. I don't think he's done a bad job, but I think he was supposed to do a lot better with what he walked into.
Okay.
So
Lito.
you can't grade it above average.
Okay. Lito, has David Griffin done a good job in his 5 years? Oh, you might be muted. You're muted. You're not doing a good job right now.
God damn it, you son of a gun. You muted me again.
That's a fact, Jack.
Nah, good. Nah, I can't say good. Nah. This is my thing. This is my thing too. Before you move on to Chaz, if 49 wins is the pinnacle of doing good, I can't. I don't. If you sleep well at night thinking that you did good with 49 wins, man,
a lot of people sleeping good. A lot of people are like satisfied with that, Lito.
Year 5, and that's what you hanging your proverbial hat on is 49 wins. Nah, man, that's not good. That's not good.
Okay. Chaz.
Man, it's such a layered question because, I think he fucked up for not choosing a clear direction. And I don't know what his directives were. I don't know if he couldn't have pulled the plug totally. I don't know if he had permissions to trade Drew right away. Like, you just don't know because the Pelicans are the NBA's man. You know what? The Pelicans are the NBA's reformatory school. Guys come here and look, Drew Holiday too. Motherfuckers come here and they just steal money. They steal money for years. And then they go to other teams and they become professionals. That's what happens. So if you're David Griffin and you invested into Zion gets hurt. You invest into Drew underachieves. You invest into Brandon's always high, allegedly. You invest into Derek Favors. Derek Favors got this all kind of shit going on. Then it's like, bro, those players, when we got them, we all thought that, oh yeah, they're gonna be all right. Like, they're gonna do their thing. But they all just grossly underachieved. My issue with Griff is just his unwillingness to pivot and be ahead of the curve. Like, just be a little ahead of the curve. Totally, he's in drafting. He's been awful. I think they're in a totally different position right now if they draft just a little bit better. If they hit on one of Kyra, Jax, or no, everything's different right now.
Dyson.
If they left Dyson where the fuck he was at, everything is different right now, right? Just because now you have an additional attractive trade chip. But the fact that all of these players have failed you kind of failed them, and this it's just a bedrock of losers. It's losers Plymouth Rock. All the losers land.
Because to Chaz's point, Gail, like, you got to look at it. When Griff arrived, he was not the first choice. Okay, he was not the first choice. But when he ended up getting the role that he got, Gail is basically saying, "All right, I'm gonna give you full authority to change everything about this organization. The past, you are going to erase the previous 18 years at the time." Okay, which went through ownership changes, and a bunch of different shit. It's your job to erase it. And okay, we'll give you a new training and practice facility. You know what I'm saying? Things now, now we're finally gonna have more Pelicans related things versus sharing Saints things versus sharing football related things within the city. But you know what? We want you to change it all in one swing. Now look, he took the job. It's his job to do it, and I think he had the resources. And that's the thing I think that doesn't make sense to me, where I can't give him more than just an average grade, because we've been talking about the same war chest, the same array of draft picks, the same amount of opportunity, the same, when there's a chance for us to take a shot, a chance for us to take an opportunity, we're going to do it. We have a war chest and he hasn't done it. And we keep going. That's why we talking about it's a big offseason every year, because you're wondering at what point are you going to cash in this shit, because you're about to run out of it. You keep hoping on these same other teams failing versus you making it happen. And that's the problem. He got to make it happen. Why are you waiting, seeing what happened in LA or seeing what happens in Milwaukee, when it's your job to make shit happen by the day? And at some point he got to do it. And I don't think he's done that enough. You couple that with what Chaz was saying about some of the failures in the draft, and you're in purgatory.